Okay, so I'm gonna try and review this movie without spoiling the movie because I have an awful habit of spoiling movies. I apologize. But anyway, I of course just came back from watching Bad Boys Ride or Die. So here's my non-spoiler review of Bad Boys Ride or Die. So this film is the fourth installment of the Bad Boys trilogy. It features the likes of Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, Vanessa Hudgens, Alexandra Hedwig, and Scott new recruits Eric Dane, who we all know is from Grey's Anatomy. He's Max Steam in that show, and Johan Grudov. Surprise, surprise in this movie as well. So the movie is about, of course, Marcus and Mike. When Mike is played by Will Smith, and Marcus is played by Martin Lawrence. And Mike is now married to this woman called Christine. I know who her name is. She's a new character in this film, by the way. And they get word that they are framed because their captain, who of course died in the third film, played by, oh Jesus, Joe Pantoliano, I think his name is. He literally left a video to them saying, oh yeah, I'm actually dead, but there's actually bad guys after me, and it's up to you guys to solve the case. So of course they solve the case. But there's this sadistic guy, the sadistic killer, played by Eric Dane, and the FBI, of course, is after Marcus and Mike, and of course they have to try and clear their name along with the captain's name by getting help with, of course, Mike's son, from the, is it Nuno? I think his name is. I'm gonna say Nuno. That's the only name I'm talking about. And, or Marquis or Nuno or Nuco or Nano, sorry. Played by, I think his name is Pablo Munez, I think. So, will the guys get to have their names cleared, and that you have to find out yourself. What I think of this movie? This movie was actually a real surprise for me. You could say that this and The Fall Guy are probably my favourite action movies of this year, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm also going to give you a hot take as well in a few minutes, but yeah, let me start with the positives. Yeah, the action sequences in this is actually very, very good. Like, if you actually seen, like, Daily Mail or something, there's actually a Will Smith, if you follow Will Smith on TikTok or Instagram, he literally shows you behind the scenes of how he actually does the shooting. So there's, like, a camera attached to him, and it's like this and this and this. It goes to the bad guys, goes back to Will Smith, goes back to the bad guys, goes back to Will Smith, and so on and so forth. I thought the action sequence was very, very good. There is a lot of violence in this movie as well. Like, there's one time it's like, it's going, oh Jesus, like some lads has his nails ripped off, and there's one like where a alligator literally eats a guy alive, and I was like, sweet Jesus. The music is good as well. There's a song by Black Eyed Peas and Becky G called Tonight, which is a good song. Also, the film is very, very memorable compared to the first two. Now I'm going to have to go on about the hot take. This might shock a lot of people, but I actually prefer the third one and the fourth one over the first two. And let me explain. The first two movies, of course, is directed by Michael Bay, who, spoiler alert, actually makes a cameo in this movie. Blink and you missed a cameo, is in a car, and I was like, oh my god, it's Michael Bay, the director of the first two. But there's so much going on, and there's too much explosions and not enough of a plot for both films, and of course both of them actually failed at the box office. One of them got like 44%, another got 24%, so they're kind of bad, but they're just so forgettable. The third film was actually very, very good, because it's directed by these two Belgian guys, Abedel and I know what the guy's name is, and they actually did a good job doing this and the new one. So yeah, I prefer the third one and the fourth one from the franchise. Now for the negatives. Okay, if I had to pick something negative about this movie, is the fact that I kind of knew from the get-go who the bad guys were, because it's actually not one but two bad guys. And I remember, like, my mum and my brother's friend's dad, of course, was there as well, and of course we were there trying to figure out like who the bad guy is, because it's actually a second bad guy. And the minute it was revealed who the second bad guy was, I said to myself, yeah, I said to my mum and my brother's best friend's dad, I was like, yeah, did I tell you guys I was right? It was so like obvious, because this guy was so sneaky and so shady. I knew from the get-go who it was. I'm not going to tell you who it is because you have to watch the movie yourself to see who the second bad guy is. But I knew straight away who it was. And also the new recruits is good too. No, Eric Dane was so sadistic in this film. I was like, holy hell! Like he was so sadistic in this film. He was there shooting people, and there's one scene like we had someone held hostage, and there's one scene like he tried to kill someone. I was like, holy shit! And then Johan Grodov, he was actually surprised. You know, I haven't seen that guy. I kid you not, right? I haven't seen Johan Grodov in a film in over 20 years. The last movie I actually saw him in was Fantastic Four, Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. It was Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. And that was nearly 20 years ago. 2007. Well, so, yeah. It's nearly 20 years old. And that was the last film I saw him in. After that, he just disappeared off the radar. And I was like, where the hell did he disappear to? I know he had like a shitty divorce and everything. And his wife is a total bitch because of it. And she was there being sleazy over it. But yeah, he was a real surprise. And Vanessa Hudgens, who joined the cast in the third film, she was good too. Even though half the time it's going, oh look, what's Gabrielle from High School Musical doing this movie with Will Smith like? Yeah, and also, the comedy in this movie is hysterical. I swear to God. Like, Martin Lawrence is literally a comedic genius. You know, every scene he's in cracks me up. Like, Will Smith's like the more serious one. But Martin Lawrence is just a hilarious actor. Like, I've loved the guy since Black Knight, the Big Mama's House movies, the one with Raven Simone at College Road Trip or something's the name of it, and he was also in another few films as well. So he was hysterical in this film. Like, there's one scene like where he has literally a heart attack, and the doctor said to him, "Oh, you can't be eating this." Like, what do you think he does? He literally tries to get sweet stuff, and here's me going, he is so made. And your man's like, Will Smith's character's like, "Oh, you're eating shit, like, don't be eating shit, like, you have to go on a strict diet." But yeah, my advice to you is watch the third Bad Boys movie before you watch this one. Forget about the first and the second one. Like, those are kind of there as well. Like, there's like one scene like we see like a glimpse of the second one, and I mentioned about the second one. And the first one I mentioned about some prostitute one. I was like, who's the prostitute one? Maybe it was Tia Leone, I think, was the prostitute in the first one. I'm not too sure who the prostitute was, but I mentioned that. And I mentioned about Martin Lawrence's sister was played by Gabrielle Union in the second one as well, along like a scene in that as well. But watch the third one, because if you watch this one, not watch the third one, you'll be saying to yourself, where does this guy come from? Where did this girl come from? Who's all these people? So you have to watch the third one, which is on Netflix, by the way. So all three of them are on Netflix, for those who don't know. So watch the third one before watching this one, because that's what I did actually last week. I watched all three Bad Boy films in preparation of this one. So if I have to rank this movie in the Bad Boys franchise, and this is going to shock you, I'm going to say this order from best to worst. Best, 3, 4, 1, and 2. So yeah, 3, 4, 1, and 2 in that order, because the second one was just not that great. The first one was actually pretty decent. The third one was very, very good, and this one just tops it up. So yeah, overall, you know what? I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. I found nothing wrong with it. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of both these actors, but yeah, I give it 5 out of 5. I thought it was like the best movie I saw so far in 2024, next to Fall Guy, The Idea of You, which is of course an Amazon Prime exclusive. So yeah, that's my review of Bad Boys Ride or Die. I plan to see the movie. Let me know what comes down below, and yeah, till next time, take care.